right, guys. Today, 10th of December, we're going to be talking about journaling and the importance of journaling. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in our next slide here. So why we're asking you to take a second here? As we kind of know, right, we're trying to encompass lots of different aspects of health, wellness, and we think just taking a second to truly reflect takes us into a place where we can really, really get our mind to considerably think about what is going on around us, right? We get stuck in the busyness of the day to day, but this is a way to kind of slow down and reflect. So we've got different options you can reflect on, different questions here. You guys can either think about, write some down. Speaking of like growth mindset, what challenges have we faced and overcome? Perspective ones, just taking a step out and thinking about how lucky we are that we get to be part of this community. Or on the other side of things, you said maybe we're thinking about coping strategies, like why, what supports our own mental or emotional well-being throughout the day, what makes our days easier. And I think journaling is important for this because my head's very all over the place, and this is a really good way to just kind of really focus on things that are going well for us, and actionable ways that we can cope or improve when life is challenging. So that's why we want you to take a second to truly think and write down here. Anything to add to that, teammate?
Yeah, I mean, I think like you hit it. I really like the kind of the categories. These are just like jumping off points, you guys, that you can kind of use. For me personally, like journaling is a really hard thing for me to do. So I like that there's just kind of these prompts that you can kind of choose from. Again, going into the holidays, this is a really hard time for some people. It's either super busy, maybe we've got, some people have to deal with grief, and it becomes even, more difficult during the holidays for obvious reasons. Or maybe we're getting down on ourselves in our fitness journey because it's the season of treats and goodies and, heavy foods and stuff like that. So I think that this is just a good time to just take a step back, give yourself time to just close off everything around you and take that time for yourself, that moment of pause where maybe we can actually take a deep breath and put things into perspective or help us cope with something that's bothering us. So I think this is a really important one and one that's underutilized a lot when we talk about health goals, for sure.
Really well said. This is kind of, as you were talking there, just kind of reminded me of like, I can't remember who it was, but someone was like, we tell ourselves so many stories and so many times they're just like, honestly, just not true, right? They're not the reality of things. And it's like those stories that like kind of put me in like a worse mood or kind of like a spiral, for lack of a better word. Things that just like aren't true. So this has been a good way for me to, journaling has been a really good way to approach this in a proactive manner, and to kind of just sit back and, as you said, like put things in a true perspective, true realism, in a sense, and for good things or bad things, put that on a straight path.
Yeah, definitely. Those of you that are looking at this, go ahead and, if you need to pause the video so you can use these questions as a reference or a tool. We'll also copy them into the comments so that they're accessible there as well. Again, if you just need some helpful prompts for journaling.
Cool.